On May 25th and April 24th, 2014, some newspapers wrote about North Koreans receiving 8 months military training in Switzerland, including shooting with assault rifles using standard NATO ammunition. Several North Koreans were trained for a period of 8 months, which has cost the rich Swiss 160,000 Swiss francs in a GCSP program costing 120 million Swiss francs for 800 participants a year. GCSP stands for Geneva Center for Security Policy, and is just one more of Octagon's NGOs to control the world. Yeah, there it is, the world. It's nothing less than the entire world. And this stripe here is part of the Vesika-Pisces. It's the circle meeting another circle, which could be here. And if you do like, this is the other part of the other circle, like here, then you get the oval. So they give one part of the Vesika-Pisces, which is for organization, and so they want to make the other part, which should be here. That's what it means. Well, look at it. Where knowledge meets experience. Well, they got a lot of experience, eh? That's Switzerland. This is Octagon. Well, here's another one. It says impartial, inclusive, influential. Oh, that's arrogant, eh? Influential. So what do they want to influence here, eh? Well, there's some more. They call the GCSP a peace school. That's why they go shooting with military assault rifles and invite all sort of dictatorships whose dictators bring the wealth they stole from their peoples into Switzerland to the Swiss Nazi banks. I mean, why not invite representatives from other countries and play ping pong or volleyball instead of military training on firearms for better killing? If your NGO is a peace organization, well, Swissies know that by inventing ping pong players, you most likely won't be able to lay the foundations of total control, big business, and for war. And this is how Octagon steers the world, and probably only invites their own Swiss sleeper agents of their worldwide fifth column. Here it says, the Geneva Center for Security Policy. I put it all in the link so you can read the article, yeah. It was in more newspapers where when I wanted to film it, it wasn't on it anymore. So this one here is on the Stars and Stripes. Oh look, there's even no more place to put all the medals. I mean, what kind of a sick mind goes together with this here, what we can see here? This, well, what kind of a psychology is behind it? What kind of a character? I mean, this is sick. Oh. Well, no doubt Octagon discusses new and old techniques about concentration camps for the North Koreans with Switzerland's knowledge of the Nazi concentration camps. Well, if you have a peace NGO, then why not make music together instead of army target practicing with our images on the targets anyway? So it's clear the whole peace NGO is a big Swiss lie again. Well, do you think that in the evening they just discuss peace and some Swiss culinary specialities such as some Swiss melted dip cheese or what? It may rather be assumed the opportunist Swiss grasped the opportunity to ask, "Hey, we heard you had that bomb. And we don't like the great US Satan either. Listen, you have the bomb and we have a lot of US tax dollars we don't want to give back. So maybe we can work something out. Like we have some Swiss, Pequeña, Suiza, Nueva Helvetia territories in South and Central America where you can install some of the launchers not far away from the big US Satan. Well, what do you think? You want some more wine and melted dip cheese?" And reality shows that the Swissies did the very same thing, attracting US billionaires not to pay their taxes in the US anymore. And Swissy has pleaded guilty to conspiracy for a US court this year. This is Octagon preparing World War III through their Swiss sneaky ways, just as Albert Pike, in reality a Swiss agent, predicted 3 world wars, and Swissy is working on it. I tell you. It says, the Swiss conspiracy. They're very, very capable of conspiracy. It's coming out now. This is not a clean country. This is what they do. They lie, and there's conspiracy. You see, this is May 19, 2014. There's a lot of things. It's going faster and faster and faster. In the same week, many things came out, and yeah, it's getting dangerous. They're getting very unpredictable now. There are a lot of similarities between North Korea and Nazi Germany. They both like goose-stepping, as you can see here. Both have concentration camps. Both leaders tell their people of how much they love their people, which is a complete tactical lie and the best way to win the people's trust. And both have the Alpine powers behind the scenes, where Kim Jong Un even speaks Swiss German. And I wouldn't be surprised if Hitler did too. Swissies and their banks brought upon the Germans a dreadful economical crisis with hunger, poverty and starvation, miraculously resolved by the Führer or leader, whom they would die for afterwards, and they saw him as a god and Messiah, who delivered them from total misery, without understanding that these are Octagon's ancient techniques behind. The same in North Korea, where grandfather Kim Il-sung delivered the Korean people from the American aggressions initiated by Swiss sleeper agent President and General Eisenhower, who brought on Octagon's order the Cold War upon the world, and totally misleading the American public through media psychological indoctrinations, false flags and plain lies. This is always setting innocent peoples up against each other, while Octagon of the Alps making a big buck. So these guys are the from the paper Nazis who came to the US through the paperclip operations, you know, giving the US a very bad name and setting peoples up against each other. But this is Octagon. Same thing happening now with Russia and the Ukraine and the Russian oligarchs and their Swiss bank accounts greasing the war machinery, as we can see here. Putin is just as bad as Obama, setting peoples up against each other, and fascism rising in Europe after Swiss work behind the screens. So this is the oligarchs, you know, greasing the war machinery. They are jihadists, you know, they're sending in jihadists from Chechnya, you know, to kill the Ukrainians. And well, this is what Putin really is like, and Obama, you know, they're all the same. The whole world is ruled by these pharaohs and their Swiss bank accounts and their oligarchs. There's also like Hitler, you know, and Kim Jong Un, the guy you just saw on the horse, you know, the big hero. There are Russians who are ready to die for Putin because he gave him some work. He took some measures against queers and, you know, not showing their bottoms, you know, to children like. But in fact, he doesn't care. He just wants to win the people's hearts. I mean, his grandfather or his father was a cook for Stalin. He was born into this aristocracy. He's part of the Tsars, you know. Wake up. So they're sending in jihadists, you know, for some money, and who want to kill some whiteys, you know. This is what they do. I mean, these are real slit throats, eh? Oh yeah. So this is what Putin is like. All dictators, it's all the aristocracy. And it all comes back to Octagon. So North Koreans come and train, shoot rifles and discuss in Switzerland for almost a year. And their dictator Kim Jong Un even speaks Swiss German, Octagon's language, which is not that easy to learn, because for doing so you must make a detour and learn German first. So it must be clear that Kim Jong Un is one of those Swiss fifth column sleeper agents who speaks the mother tongue. So I'll show you the entire article. Oh, there's a lot more. Speak Swiss German, can you imagine? Right. I'll put the whole link in the under the video with the links. I'll put the whole article in there. So from 1993 till 2000, that's 7 years, the Korean dictator got trained and schooled in Octagon, in a school in the Swiss capital of the Bear called Bern, not very far from where we live, so I went filming there for you. You can read the whole article, put in the links. So here's some more about it. I'll show you the school here, there's the name, I'll show it to you later. And this article was in the Daily Mail. So this here is the school where the dictator of Korea went to school, Mr. Kim Jong Il. And this is the sporting ground where he used to play basketball. He was very into basketball, that's why Mr. Rodman, he visited him, like in Korea. So this is the it's a quiet area here. It's next to a quite sort of posh area as well. Könitz. It's part of Bern. So why do you, and he spoke Swiss German. You know, this is what I've been talking about. This is the Swiss fifth column. They can be Chinese, they can be Russian, they're everywhere, the Swiss. Everywhere. So he looks Chinese from the outside, or Asian. But he's not, he's Swiss. What do you think, a Korean? They say they hate the world and the Western world most of all. And why do they go to a school in the most western part of the Western world, Switzerland? Why do they do this? You know, it's all a lie. Just like Mr. Hitler, he lied about loving the Germans. Well, it's the same with Mr. Kim Jong Un and his father, Kim Jong Il. You know, they say, well, we love the Korean people and we love the German people. But in fact, what they do and what they did is like terrorizing the Korean people and the German people. It's all lies, you know. Politicians mostly say what we want to hear. You know, they're all liars, including Mr. Putin, all of them, all the politicians. They're all a bunch of liars. They tell us what we want to hear. So here did he go? Here he went to school. He even spoke Swiss German. And you know, for speaking Swiss German, you have to learn German first. You know, nobody just... I know Germans, you know, I've been here for 20 years, they don't speak a word of Swiss German. Because it's you won't understand it. Well, the Germans do, but... yeah, here it says basketball. This is what he used to do here in his time off. So this is how they did it, you know. A Swiss woman, she marries or she gets a child with a Korean guy. The guy, he gets sent back to his country, so don't make any children with any Swiss women.